And we're live. What's up, y'all? You know who it is. It's your boy, Big Tank Hank, coming at you with another live stream. As you see, things around me look a little bit different. I got the black curtain back there, Tank on the side over here. I'm going to make a video about my fish room in a new place. I think it's quite a bit better. I think it's quite a bit better. Thank y'all for coming in to see us, holler at us today. I got a very, very, very special guest. I got Blake's Aquatics in the house. I always have to turn that volume down. Blake's Aquatics is in the house. And I'm gonna bring him on and I'm gonna, let y'all get to know him. You know how we do here. Extended hug. It's all about family. And I want you to bring him into the family. Give him a warm, warm welcome when I bring him in. We're gonna do the pleasantries and we're gonna let him, break it down to who he is. Blake,
Oh, thank you.
what's happening?
Thanks.
What's happening?
How you going? We didn't talk about I was going to do that. But thanks for having me on.
Hey, you see how quick I was on it? You know what I'm saying? The crowd, yeah. I'm a ringer.
Not many people bring their own applause with them, but yeah.
Hey, I like it. You're gonna make me find myself one.
Sure thing. And
I'm gonna shout you out. I'm gonna shout you out every time.
All right, sounds like a winner to me. We'll talk about it off air. No worries. G'day to everyone as well. Certainly see some familiar names in the chat.
GNU, first time in the house. How you do? Or did you just change your name on now? Geek Boy, what's going on? Skipper's Aquatics, Lonnie, Looney Tunes, what's happening? Skull Aquatics, Texas Fish Room. Hey, road to 1,000. I'm going to say it every show. Go holler at Texas Fish Room. Sub to Texas Fish Room. Buddy of mine, get him to 1,000 people. Let's do it. Collaboration of Curiosities. Kevin Long. Hello, Kevin. What's going on, man? Patrick Hardy. Hey, Patrick, man. I'm going to try to get them guppies to you tomorrow, brother. GRB. Mary Page Flynn. Hello, sis. How you doing? Deborah Lewis. Tam Shepard. First time. Science Gal Fishing. What? Who's Science Gal Fishing? Are you new too? I know Science Gal Aquatics. Atkins Nature Aquariums. What's going on, brother? What's going on? General Woe. J. Oliver. PB Aquatics. Is that it? Who else? Lance Jones. What's going on? Chalupa. No tomatoes. I'd rather not have the tomatoes either, man. I really would. Blake is in the chat shouting out himself also. What's going on, man? Natural Aquariums. All right. Big Easy, what's going on? Welcome in. PJ Palmer. How do? So, Blake, bring them up to speed. Let them know a little bit about your background, where you're from. Touch on your family life a little bit, how you came into the hobby. And then we're going to take off from there.
All right. Sounds good. So you can probably tell from the accent, I am from Australia. So way down the bottom part of Australia. So we do get cold weather down here. It's not just some kind of desert with like snakes falling from the sky or anything like that. So yeah, it's quite cold here today. But I live, the closest capital city is Melbourne, if you wanted to look at that. Family life, I do have a lovely wife and 2 kids, a 3 and a 4-year-old boy, keep me nice and busy and keep me from doing all my fish activities out here. Good stuff. G'day, Weldon. Thanks as well. Growing up, actually, we were talking about this off air, And I've only kept fish tanks for about 5 years now, which might seem strange because how do you go from 0 to 50 in that? Oh no, he's a Melbourneite. Uh, in 5 years, but the thing that really set me up and the thing that I'm really appreciative for is actually YouTube. So, um, growing up, we moved around a lot, pretty much like clockwork. We moved every year interstate and all up and down the east coast of Australia. So we never really had much fish tanks. We never had like the big Oscar tank or anything like that that a lot of people grow up with because we just never stood still long enough to set that up. We had the classic little 20 liter with a goldfish in it for about 5 minutes and all that sort of stuff. But other than that, we never really got serious about it. And then when I was studying at university, it just came up in my feed one day. It was a video of Corey. He was setting up cinder block. So I don't know if people are even familiar with this. You have to have watched him for about 7 years, I reckon. But he had this huge garage fish room, and he was setting up a row of cinder block stands. And I just couldn't believe that this person has had how all of these aquariums. Like, how do you even change all that water? How does it work? And I just couldn't wrap my head around logistically how that's even possible. So naturally, I got deeper and deeper and learned about, oh, that's how he's changing the water. Oh, that's how he has all these filters and all that. And by then, I naturally sort of found King of DIY, Rachel O'Leary, and everyone else, and I was, all day, every day, just watching some sort of fish related thing on my phone. So there was a good 6 years of just learning and seeing people's setups before I ever got a fish tank. And then when I did, I think a week later I had my second, a week later I had my third, and within, a couple of months there was a fish tank next to every water outlet in the whole house. So it was quick, but it's been a fun ride, and I just enjoy it. Oh, thanks, Weldon. Appreciate that. I've been watching you for a little while too, ever since Corey shouted you out one day, and you did that reaction video in your car, and that was really touching. So nice one.
Most definitely. Mr. Trent, Mr. Trent. But yeah, man. Hey, and it's easy for you after that first one for it to take off. I mean, like, it's like you just close your eyes and then you open them up and you got all these tanks. How do you go from the one to the next one to the next one? I mean, it's like we're just it's like a drug, Well, I
Yeah.
have this one fish, and then those two fish have nothing to do with each other, but I see it, so I'm gonna get that one. I want all the fish, I want to look like the fish store.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. And
it's
then,
all right.
just about every room in the house we lived in at the time, which was a rental. We still live in a rental. We can talk about that shortly. Every room I think had a fish tank in it. If there was bench space, there was a fish tank on it, and it was getting a bit much. And my wife said one day, "Look, we have that room that's kind of a study. Nothing's really going on. We use it a little bit for storage. Get all your fish tanks, put them down there, get them out of my way." So that's when I've got my first fish room, and that how many? I'll be soon onto my third fish room. So yeah, it's good, and definitely I do recommend consolidating all your fish tanks into one area if you want to get a lot of them, because it saves so much time and energy.
You didn't have any stairs to climb to get to the next fish room, did you?
I did originally, but yeah, there was it was a 2-story house, so there was 4 or 5 fish tanks upstairs, 4 or 5 downstairs, and each one I was doing with buckets, and it was not a good time. I would say I was probably doing more work then than I do now with 50 fish tanks.
50 fish tanks, y'all. 50 fish tanks. Dacking, that sounding like you over there, man. Ooh.
Don't say it too loud.
Man.
People might start to think I'm a crazy person or something.
No, not over here. No, not on here. If you say anything less than like 10, they might think you're crazy, you know. How dare you call yourself a fish keeper?
You're just a home decorator.
Oh, for real.
Nah, nah. Look, to be honest,
For
you know,
real.
I know
Hey, have to have a
people.
little life in every room.
I know people with one fish tank, and I know people with yeah way too many to count. And for me, I don't judge either way. You know, if you have one, you probably really care for those fish. They've probably got the best life ever. You know, or if you've got 100, you know, you're obviously really dedicated to the hobby, and you just want to sort of improve it and make it easier for everyone. Well, that's kind of a generalization, but loosely, that's what I think. So I think there's positives and negatives to both ways to go.
Right, right. And it's so
BJ
hard
Palmer,
when you
happy birthday for yesterday as well. Sorry.
all the birthdays. Hey, happy birthday also to you, BJ Palmer. No, I had no idea. Oh, and today is Blake's birthday, y'all. He didn't
Oh
say
yeah.
it. He didn't say it. Wish him a happy birthday. Wish him a happy birthday. He's still a young whippersnapper. He's leaning over the edge of 30, but he haven't got there yet. So he's still good. He can
Yeah, not
still
yet.
run and jump,
I don't
skip
know if I can
rocks,
do
you
either of
know.
those.
Oh my goodness. Hey, so moving forward,
Hmm.
um, well, I'm about to tell some extra stuff, but it's for you to tell.
All right.
So, moving forward, what's your next move in regards to fish room?
Yeah, we are certainly moving forward, and there is a next move. We are in actually 2 weeks. They're going to start excavating a plot of land that we've purchased. So, um, hopefully by the end of the year, we'll have a brand new double garage. Are they called garages? Carports? What's it called? Yeah, garage.
The
Um,
completely enclosed garage carport is open with just the top.
okay. Yeah, that's the same then. So yeah, completely enclosed garage. We got it designed so it's going to be a bit bigger on the side that's not connected to the house. I've purposefully got a water connection out there, so we're gonna have automatic water changes. Gonna have obviously a air loop running around the place, and I'm gonna set it up as a purpose-built fish room from the start. Um, if people don't know the story here, there's like it's an okay fish room, but we sort of had to oh, thanks, Mary. Appreciate that. Always, Mary leaves the most positive comments in the world. So definitely a lot of appreciation for you and what you do, Mary. Um, so yeah, purpose-built fish room from the start. This one here, I'm a little bit limited. People might not realize, but we had some personal circumstances, and we kind of had to just move here all of a sudden. And this is just a sort of it's my in-laws holiday house basically. They let us move in here for temporarily, and it turned into a couple of years, but they're happy that we're moving out. But there are some things that, like, the roof isn't painted and there's exposed bricks, and it's just an unfinished room. So for me, I'm limited in where I can shoot the camera and what I can have as my background, and just those sort of aesthetic things. So I'm really excited just to be able to, finish everything, insulate it really well, and I will be walking through everybody what I'm doing and the thought process behind everything as well, so that if anybody ever does move, they can do a similar thing if they like. So yeah.
Yeah, that sounds familiar. I just had a personal situation that moved me to where we are today
Mm,
in the last 2 days. Started last week, and I had to quickly move to where I am now. But God bless
it's
the fish
stressful.
fam. God bless the fish fam. Cause without me being able to reach out to them, man, we're probably streaming right now in Walmart's parking lot or somewhere.
I'm sure we'd still have fun if we were, but
Right? I believe in making a way, making a way, man. Be happy wherever you are, man. Wherever you are.
yeah, that's it. No, I'm
Most
thankful that
definitely.
we were able to move in here, and I think I've sort of done what I can with the place to sort of make it homely. But um, next fish room, the next fish room will be hopefully 20, 10 to 20 times better than this one. I hope so. What's in here, if it comes out there, then it should be something pretty special, I think.
Okay, good deal. Good deal. So are you trying to you want to be like no, I'm not gonna phrase it that way. What is your end goal in keeping fish? Do you want to be the hobbyist who just collects a bunch of fish, or do you want to actually go full on uh, storefront or online store, and just really
Hmm.
dive in?
Yeah. Definitely don't want to dive in. I just love the hobby for what it is, to be honest. And even I was fortunate enough. I met with somebody last week. I thought they just wanted to do some collaboration, get me to do some videos for them or whatever. But they actually offered me a pretty good job working in a fish store, but um, on the logistics side. But for me, I just said obviously thanks very much, but I like to have that separation. I think it would get a bit too much if my entire livelihood rested on breeding these fish, or I just think I enjoy it. I feel no pressure. I can bring in, if tomorrow I decide I want to get some, ornate biches or something, I can bring those in and just watch them for 5 years and see if I can breed them, and I just don't have to do any. Yeah, I don't have any deadlines or anything to work with. I think I do obviously sell fish on when I can, just to the local store and all that, but I just do it for fun. And I'm happy with that. Mm.
That's cool though. That's cool. Cause I can't see. I mean, I have empty boxes still wrapped in plastic from the postal service where I was supposed to learn how to ship fish, and I haven't even come close to trying yet. No sample, ship, nothing. I mean, I I have
I
fish.
have I have given that
Oh,
a
you
go
have?
actually. Yeah, yeah. Uh,
So how did
I
you
started
feel
off
about it?
nervous, very nervous, because our postal system is not as good as yours. It's not really set up to ship livestock, unless you pay a ridiculous amount that makes it not worthwhile. So I shipped 3 to 5 boxes of shrimp interstate, and all survivors. And then just last week, I shipped my first ever fish. I shipped 10 multifasciatus, Neolamprologus, the little shell dwellers. And we did have one DOA, but I talked it through. And I think what happened is that it actually got crushed in the corner. So I need to tape the corners down, make it a rounded bottom, but no DOA. I put heat packs and all that. And yeah, pretty happy. It's going to be a learning experience, but yeah, we'll get there eventually, I think.
Right? Ah, man, I might need to. Hey, I'm kind of like you when you say how you started out before you actually got your first tank. You know, watching all the YouTube videos. Hey, I already knew about the tape in the corners.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm an expert. I'm an expert
You
like
got it.
that shipping fish. You know what I'm
So what are you waiting for? Crack those
saying?
boxes out.
Ooh, man. See, I think my situation was I've had a few unfortunate experiences with me ordering fish, that kind of has me a little weary. And I mean, I'm talking about from places like relatively close to me that they could possibly have gotten in a vehicle themselves and drove the fish to me. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah. It
ugh,
is a bit of a gamble. I've also had fish here because I order online quite a bit, and I've had fish arrive, that have been 3 days in the post and no heat packs and all sorts of stuff, and then they arrive alive, and I'm shocked. So yeah, sometimes I think it's just a gamble.
Right. I can thank this hobby and YouTube. I've made a few friends with transshippers, and stuff like that. So I feel a little better right now by pulling the trigger because I know once it leaves me, or vice versa coming to me, that there's somebody that's in the middle there that I know personally that's part of, what I'm saying? Not completely
Yeah,
just them, but that's part of the process that knows way more than I do. So
yeah.
I may do something here soon, I really need to.
And the great thing as well is we have access to this community as well. So I'm sure if you wanted to test out a few guppies, you could be like, oh, hey, such and such, can I just ship you some guppies? I just want to test it out, and you know, if you don't want them, that's fine. But I just want to ship some free test guppies or something to somebody. And that can be a good way to do it. That's what I sent Sir Prawn a lot. He doesn't really do videos anymore. I wish he would, but
I was about
he,
to ask you when you mentioned his name.
yeah, yeah. So I sent him some shrimp, and just as he was my first tester, so yeah, so it's a good way to do it as well. Before there's a sale on the line and people will get angry and want their money back and all that sort of stuff.
Right, right. Yeah, that's another
And
one of those situations.
it's a good way to back up your colonies as well. Like now I know if I ever lose all my black cherry shrimp, I'll just hit him up and get him to send me some back.
Right. Hey, speaking of that, HC Aqua right there, I got some chinoides from him. I got a pair.
Awesome.
And HC, man, Jesse, I got fry everywhere, man. This tank that you looking at right there, I have some teenage fry. And then the tank below, no, the tank above that, I have some little bitty baby fry. Man, I got them everywhere. And hey, if this is the time now, I guess that I need to start shipping some chinoides. I might send some back to Jesse.
Nice. Now that is a setup to be jealous of, Jesse's setup. If you'll have me, definitely one day I'm gonna have to go to Hawaii and check that out in person.
Right? Most definitely, most definitely. I envy the ability in Hawaii, due to the weather and whatnot, to because I mean I want to do tubs, but uh I'm in Texas, yes. But we had a blizzard. we had a
Yeah,
blizzard
you can't
a
win.
few months ago. So I mean, once upon a time, if I'd have said something to people like that, they would thought I was crazy. Man, you're in Texas. I'm like, man, what? Hold on. Red alert.
What? Zero tanks. Is
Man,
that
what's
some
going
sort of like
on?
play on words? Do you have like 400 ponds
Code?
now instead?
Yeah, code for something? Did you move, man? Oh man, I'm gonna have to hit you a messenger, man. I need to somehow I missed the memo in there.
Yeah. Hopefully
But yeah,
not
man,
something
who
disastrous.
right, most definitely. Because I know there was a storm a little while back. I checked. I moved and
Uh,
sold my house. Okay, gotcha,
moved.
gotcha.
Everyone's moving. It's moving season around here.
Yeah, I was blessed to be able to pull five with me. I pulled five tanks over here with me. I was blessed. Hey, with these chinoides, baby, I don't care what happened. I was going to keep them no matter what.
Yeah.
Something was going to have to give. I wasn't going to let these go nowhere, man. Hey,
Awesome.
it's one of those situations where you have and I'm gonna want you to touch on this, but how you have the holy grail fish. Oh man, I have certain type of fish that I wanna own, and these were one of them. I have a few, and the majority of them happen to be in the wild better um community. But when I got them, there was no way, no way. I was gonna place them in other people's houses and come back later or something. But yeah, there
Yeah,
was
yeah.
no way I couldn't. So what is your holy grail fish?
Oh. Well, just behind me. Let's see if you can see him. My newest fish that I got the other day was I got 3 Senegal biches, and man, those are some cool fish. I really like them. And I'm jealous that you guys can get them really cheap over there, I think, but here not so much. Um, I don't think I could ever just sum it up to one though. Like, I love a lot of my fish for different reasons. You know, I have pea puffers as well, which I absolutely love. The same token, I like, for example, if I switch this over here, uh, yeah, I just like a community tank with rainbows and angelfish just as much as well. I'm lagging because I accidentally opened up an application here.
Yeah, I've been looking at bichers in passing for a long time, and yes, they are pretty affordable here. I just didn't have any setup scenarios that I think would be smart of me to try to do it. Because everything I have here would be bicher food.
Yeah. I'm really regretting clicking on
So
this.
yeah, I heard the prices. Oh, because of the way the screen's doing it. It's lagging
Yeah,
you too.
it's trying to open up a program I use for 3D printing that's chewing up like my whole computer right now. As soon as I can, I'll close it.
Right. Yeah, I had a conversation with Baji from Straya.
Yeah.
Uh, and he was talking about the prices, how absorbent they could be, and like, the limited fish that you can even get. And I'm like,
Mm.
man, we take so much for granted over here.
Yeah. I mean,
We
even
take
if you
so
just
much
think
for granted.
geographically, like to send something out here, it's got to travel quite a distance. All right. There we go. That might be a bit better now. We'll see. Well, the old computer will just catch up, but I finally closed it.
Right.
But yeah,
Mary
3D
Page,
print.
I need you to message me.
What up? I was just Cura Ultimate Cura Rikistan. So yeah, I sort of recently got into 3D printing, and I've been printing a lot of stuff, just for aquariums and stuff as well. So um, it's a good side hobby as well. So I've been printing little stands, for test tubes and all that, and pothos hangers and breeding contraptions for CPDs and all sorts of fun stuff. So um, if you are that way inclined, it's worth a go, and you can get into it pretty cheap as well these days too.
And look, man, 3D printing is so crazy to me. Just it's like a sci-fi movie per se, because that's where we would have seen it first. Then people are actually, printing physical, you know, objects, and I'm like, man, even today, so you're gonna make me have to go and do some research. I'm gonna have to physically go somewhere so I can see it being done. Because it's
uh,
still different. Looking at videos or something, it's still different.
yeah. Like even before, I'm printing this. It's like a invention for breeding celestial pearl. So what happens is there's an uplift tube that goes out that hole, and I'll put a grate over the top, and the CPDs will lay all their eggs. The uplift tube will suck them up and deposit them up above. So that that print there has been going for about 30 hours now, but it's a pretty big print. Um, that bed is about I'm gonna have to do. I think it's about 10 inches by 10 inches or something like that. So yeah, pretty big. It's just mesmerizing to watch as
That's
well.
great.
Yeah.
Man, is that kind of like I mean, I don't know if people still do it, but they used to do, let's say, like they build a rock formation, and they'd have a tube with an air bubbler like inside of the rock formation, where you know how the fish egg and it would go over into another container where the fish
Yep.
would lay the eggs in the rocks, and it would suck them up and put them over into the other side so
Yeah,
they
yeah.
wouldn't eat them.
I can
Hey, I'm gonna have
actually
to
show you.
I'm gonna have to
I
get
can
you to
show
make
you
me
the
one.
full. I'll show you the full setup because I did a hashtag short of it, whatever it's called. You know, one of those short videos.
Yeah.
I don't know how well it will translate, but I'll turn the volume off. You can see my big head, but it's going to be green for the green screen. Okay. So that's a smaller version of what I just printed out. And then there's an uplift tube here connected to an airline. And then it just spits all the eggs out up here. So there's moss. That's why the green screen isn't working. There's moss there. So the CPDs go lay their eggs, lay their eggs, lay their eggs. And then just like a sponge filter, it sucks air and water up here and then spits them out the top. And then every day I just get a turkey baster, take all the eggs out, and it's magic. You don't have to bother the fish. You just make more of them. Need one of those.
Man.
Get
Some
one of
fishes
those, Kevin.
asking what's happening. Unorthodox aquatics, what's happening? Man, I need one. I wanted to breed uh uh are they it's the Daniel long fin leopard Daniel.
Yeah.
And I mean it's like their eggs never even get a chance to settle anywhere and they're eating them. I mean, they're running 100 miles an hour, breeding all at the same time. And it's like I couldn't figure out how, to
Well, you
I
don't
couldn't even use
even
a mop.
need a 3D printer. I don't think you could easily get. You could easily just get like a plastic container and some sort of grate. You know, like some large fly screen, fly wire, something like that. Super glue it around. I'm sure there's some way you could do it.
So it could be a container, let's say, maybe not this
Yeah.
small, but like something like this, and put a
Yeah.
grate over the top of it. But
Yeah.
what would I have to put up here? Like put the actual, maybe like a mop or so on top of that?
Yeah, like acrylic yarn or sabositang or Java moss or anything like that. You probably want to set the grate slightly down into it just so the moss doesn't immediately blow off the top.
Gotcha.
Could be done
Okay,
anyway.
okay.
The reason I took a video of that printer is because I'm going to do a video on a more in-depth video on that setup. And what I'll do, if it helps, is I'll come up with a similar contraption but with a container. We'll include that. Start
Some
3D
fishes says,
printing
what kind of
rims.
plan, man?
Start.
We can't eat these fish.
That's a true. So, Passionate Fruit says start 3D printing rims for those rimless Aussie tanks so you can have lids. Actually, I did do that.
Oh yeah, that was earlier.
There's some here, but not whole rims. But I did 3D print some clips. You know, just clip that just sits on the edge. And
all right,
yeah.
Rico. Oh, to hold the tank like flesh down inside or still over the top edge?
Yeah, I'll grab one. I can see one right over here. So here's just a little red version. So that just
Okay.
goes over the glass. Oh, it's hard to see, isn't it? There you go. That just
Gotcha.
goes over the glass, and then your lid sits on the other bit. So yeah, you can come up with solutions for everything.
Natural aquariums. I need to screenshot that spelling. Cause one day I was trying to look up some wasa tang, and there was I didn't come close to finding it on Google because I couldn't come close to spelling it.
Yeah. I thought the pronunciation was interchangeable there. I don't know. I'm not about to get into a pronunciation
I
debate,
mean,
but
but now Google don't recognize none of it if you speaking it. So I mean, spelling. If I don't come close spelling it, that's a whole nother situation.
yeah, exactly. And
Hey
I
man, but
always find it funny, like, this isn't being critical of you at all, Naturally Cream, so please don't feel like it is. But I find it funny as well when we talk about, like pronunciations of words that originate from another language. Like we say, baguette, but it's, baguette or whatever. So, you know, you you don't interchange every word for the original pronunciation. You speak how the language you're speaking pronounces that word. So, like, I don't know. It was a interesting podcast I listened to the other day. Probably not for this audience, I guess. Thanks, Passionate Fruit. I love that name, by the way.
how to say bagel. Oh, it's jumped on me. Jeffrey Watts, what's going on? So right now, what what fish would you own if you already had more room?
If I already had more room, uh, I did used to have a little stingray. I used to have a male stingray pup. I'd probably get more stingrays, I think. Yeah,
Okay, okay, okay.
yeah, because I've got a big Saratoga Lycardi, like a Australian arowana kind of fish, and the
Gotcha.
whole intention was to have stingrays at the bottom and then the Saratoga at the top. Um, and I'd probably try and recreate that. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Well, you actually answered the question before I asked it because I was going to ask about uh egg scatterers as opposed to live bearers, small fish as opposed to monster fish. Like
Yeah.
what do you like better? Joe
Yeah.
Munoz, welcome.
G'day, g'day. Uh, I like them all, to be honest. Yeah, I don't have a preference either way. Probably the main thing is for me is I like planted tanks and I like breeding fish because for me a fish breeding is feedback, and basically one of the only ways that they can give you feedback that they're actually having a happy, thriving life. So for me, I like, if I bring something in, I'm going to try and breed it basically. And planted tanks, the reason for that is I just think that it's the easiest and most aesthetically pleasing way to have super high, super nice clean water. So they're so beneficial. So um, I don't have a preference of like, you know, tank busters versus nanofish because I have tanks with shrimp and nanofish and I have tanks with four Oscars and they're both just as fun at different times of the day.
Gotcha,
Mm.
gotcha. I can't believe I was all about artificial plants at one point. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
they're okay, but like when I actually got into um live plants and just dabbling, testing, see how I feel about it. I mean, I think I like it a whole lot better because I'm into a lot of nano type fish, and I mean just aesthetically, it just to me it just looks so much better.
Mm.
There he is, Baji from Australia is in the house. What's up, little buddy? What's up? Glad you came
Crocodile Long
through.
Day himself. I got a question from
Most
Kevin.
definitely.
What is my favorite plant? Certainly. Is there one? No, not one there. Red tiger lotus at the moment. Yeah, because I've got a few huge ones, like maybe this whole corner would be a huge red tiger lotus, and it's just doing really well for me. So, yeah, probably red tiger lotus. Or I've got some really nice carpets of dwarf hairgrass as well, which is pretty good. How was I not aware of this? Budgie.
Hey, you got to go back and hit my bell, Baji. You got to hit my bell, man, where it has the little vibrations coming from it. So that means you don't miss any of my videos.
YouTube be slacking. Oh, but one thing on
General
that topic
Rowe.
is similar to picking my favorite fish. I kind of have a lot of plants, and I do a lot of plant videos as well. So, if you ever are looking for something that's a bit different, then they don't take too long, like 3 or 4 minutes or something. And yeah, maybe you could find a new plant that you haven't tried before.
Okay, okay. Most definitely. Yeah, especially now that with my move and changing the direction of how I'm doing things, I have some jungles going on over here in these 220 longs. I have a male Chinoides in one, female in the other, with some least killifish.
Yep.
Heterangia formosa going on. And I'm trying to make them paludarium ish, but not really.
Yep.
I mean,
Nice.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Half
for
water.
sure.
My tank is half water, but I want the plants to be coming up out of the top of it. But yet I still want the water, at least 10 gallons of water in the 20-gallon long.
Yeah, on that topic, I actually did a build once. What would the tank be? I think the tank would be like the equivalent of is a 20 long about 2 foot long? Is that a 20-gallon long or a 15? I don't know. Anyway, I took a 2-foot tank, took the side panel off, siliconed it to the front. So I stood it upright, and then I cut the sides on a 45-degree angle and just created a bit of a DIY paludarium. I stuck some cork to the back, some cork tiles, and put this like wicking fiber. And yeah, it worked pretty well. It's still running today. So 20 long is 30 inches. Yeah, so maybe it's like a 15-gallon then. Because it's a 60-liter tank, 2 foot. Yeah. So, yeah, I just love doing all that sort of stuff and playing around and just enjoying the hobby, really.
Most definitely. Because I haven't done it yet, but my original foundation was in amphibians, lizards. I mean, I did all of it. So for me to be able to blend, the worlds together, the like salamanders per se, you don't see them anymore. I mean, at least not here. That would be a real good combination, I think. But I'd have to actually buy a terrarium type of, because I don't want to cut no glass. I got a feeling, I'll destroy something. I'm a little heavy-handed.
Well, for me, it was really handy to learn. Like that project kind of taught me how to cut glass. So, I had other times where tanks that I ordered, online, they would arrive broken, and then I'd just cut them up and then put them back together, and I'd have a tank, and then still get the replacement tanks. But that way you end up with free tanks kind of thing because you learn how to cut grass. I do also notice there's a question from Passionate Fruit, which might be interesting, about Australian import laws. Australia is very funny. So it's very, very difficult to import anything alive, and even moving it state to state. So I live way, way down the southeastern corner of Australia, and even like I can keep cherry shrimp, but in Western Australia, cherry shrimp are illegal. But in Western Australia, koi are legal, but here koi are illegal. And then each state has its own different rules and regulations, and very, very strict.
And that's in one country, and you have all the separation.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the strictest of all is Tasmania. because they have a very pristine natural environment, so they want to protect it as much as they can. So you can't even get any aquatic plants from the mainland down to Tasmania. There's a lot of restrictions on fish as well. What were you about to say, sir?
Okay, so within the country, let's
Yep.
say you want something from this place, it's legal. It's legal where you are, but it has to travel through, over, around somewhere that is illegal.
Mm.
What are the laws in regards to you getting it from?
Yeah, I guess that's an interesting. I've never come up across that. So I presume that since it's never being released from the package, in the state in between, they would have to transport it there somehow. So my assumption is that, it would be fine. But I haven't had that come up before.
Okay, because like here, they have laws in regard of just the transporting. Like,
Really? So you have
yeah,
to
it
send
could
it like
be.
via Washington or something, do you, to come
Yeah, I
around?
mean, it could be
Uh,
it could be legal here,
yeah.
but if it crosses the border, I mean, not even stopping there. But if it
Yeah.
crosses the border, and I mean animals for some of the
Mm.
people in the chat, I don't mean any of that stuff, but actual animals.
Yeah.
If it crosses the
All right.
border, man, they can get you. Felony. I'm
I'll
like,
just
what?
I'll, I'll just throw out some prices, I guess, of what we have, because I noticed that Natural Aquariums was talking about getting mad that you can't keep snakeheads and Asian arowana down here. I'll let you know some costs. So a Senegal Barsha is 150 Australian dollars, which is probably these days about 120 American dollars. My conversion might be wrong, but I'm just going off the top of my head. A pea puffer, generally, last year they were about 250 Australian dollars each. So, maybe what, 210 US dollars or something like that.
No.
A Fahaka puffer, I know somebody who got two for 1,300 Australian dollars. So, just whatever 70 cents on a dollar is, I think that's what American exchange rate is at the moment. An ornate barsha is 500 Australian dollars. A Batis, Scarlet Batis, they're around at the moment for $40 each. Yeah, it's very
Panama
interesting.
City.
How much are
Man,
the
that's
tanks? Yeah, tanks are pretty expensive as well. We don't have like $1 per gallon sale. Our most affordable tank, I'll show you. I've got one here in package. This is a show and tell. So this is like
right.
our version of like your 5 gallon or whatever, So this is from Kmart, which I don't think exists in America anymore, but it definitely exists in Australia. And this is a 20 liter, which is like a 5 gallon, but this is $29 Australian, but it doesn't have a rim. Should I open it? Probably. I've got some scissors. I'll show you the top. And these are kind of like the standard things that most people set up their racking systems and that with. And it comes with a little dodgy filter and rocks and all that. Open. This is great viewing, isn't it? Cutting open a thing live. All right. So yeah, for your $29, you get a little filter, a fake plant, and a bag of rainbow clown gravel. You get a lid, acrylic lid. You get a net, and so, and then it's just a sort of rimless kind of setup, I guess. So that's what you get.
Okay, and you
That's
say 29?
$29, but it's a 5 gallon. Yeah. So that's kind of the
That's
most
that's
affordable
not
option.
that wouldn't be much different. That wouldn't be much different here as far as the tank goes.
Yeah. Outside of that, we don't have like standard shapes. We have a lot of 30 centimeter cubes, which 30 centimeters is 12 inches. So 12-inch cubes, you can get those for around $30. Why have I got a tank not set up? I've got about 12 tanks there not set up yet. I'm getting ready for the move, which is a smart thing to
And
do.
are
Buy
those
everything
cubes
before you move. What was that?
are those cubes rimless also?
Yeah, yeah. Most of our small tanks are rimless tanks, yeah. And even our large tanks,
So
yeah.
technically y'all have a better deal on tanks per se than we do, as opposed to the actual fish. Like, you can get a pea puffer here for $5.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Our tanks, I actually think our tanks are kind of okay, but we just don't have the option to get the consistent sized tanks that you guys do. So you have like very nice, neat fish rooms, because they're all the same kind of size. But here, like my rack there, it's got like, there might be a tank that's 32 centimeters tall. Then the one next to it might be 30 centimeters tall. And then it might be like 29 centimeters tall. And then, it kind of goes staggered. So that annoys me, but it's a very
Oh,
small thing.
okay. So they don't do like we get the the dollar per gallon sale, and then they'll have 1,000 tanks the same size that they're selling, for $1 a gallon. So you could actually have a whole fish room with the same size tank.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that would be hard though. That would be hard. Aesthetically, that may would run me crazy.
Someone's giving me a hard time about a green screen. I haven't been able to read the comments while I was doing my show and tell.
See, I don't
Fortunate
think
to,
they didn't know. They thought the tank behind you was in real time at first, until when you moved the tank, and it was breaking up, and it was like, oh my God, it's a green screen. I didn't know.
look, now I'm just teleporting in front of all these tanks. But they are all my tanks, I guess, for the record. So that's kind of important. They're not like, sample footage from the internet or something. See, like that one right there. Do you see how all the angels ran across the other way? That's because I put some food in the corner. They all just went, charge.
Against the flow. Hey, Hank and everyone, Blake. I'll be catching some of your videos while looking for info. Very helpful.
Oh,
Thanks.
cool. Thank you.
Most definitely. If you can put them out there and they can help somebody, that's a beautiful thing.
Okay. So if the tanks get bigger, yeah, we still don't have that black rim. We don't have that. We have glass bracing. Just like a plate of glass that goes everywhere except the corners and then across the middle. How can I show it? I don't know how. I'll take a quick video on my phone and then I'll show you. So still we don't have we have to put EVA, those like foam gym tiles. We have to put those underneath all of our aquariums.
Man, I wonder what. Now, myself, I probably would. It's strange. I would rather that, because I have tanks I just take rims off of all the time.
You see that? So there's a lid up the back corner, but it's just a glass sort of brace.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Yep. So just sort of a ribbon of glass up the middle, along the edges, and then another two on each side. So
okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm a bit indifferent. I don't really have a strong opinion on what way is better or what. I kind of like that. I feel like if I was in the States and had those trims, I'd try and take them off the top anyway, and probably end up with a lot of water on my floor. Or I'd come up with something, cut everywhere except the corner or something maybe. I don't know. Euro bracing. I like Euro bracing, but I do also like being able to just feed food through the corner. So yeah, I think you just get used to whatever you have. How
You
are the
do,
Oscars
you
in
do.
Saratoga? Yeah, going really well. Going really well. I think I showed the Saratoga most recently in my fish store tour, and yeah, he's getting pretty big now. He might be about uh 17 inches or something like that. So he's a monster. And the Oscars are crazy. I have this little cap over the feeding hole, and as soon as I take it off, they just go like piranhas, and the water goes everywhere. So I have to like sneak it off to the side and like just chuck the food in there. But otherwise, they try and like push each other out of the aquarium and all that crazy things.
So what is
Do
a
Australians?
Saratoga?
Saratoga is it's a bony tongue fish, kind of like an arowana, but they're native to the northern parts of Australia.
Okay,
Um,
okay. That you mentioned earlier. I got you.
yeah, yeah. I'll bring up a photo of them. Um, uh, sorry. I did notice there was a question. Do Australians keep natives like Galaxias? Yeah, we do. It's not that common, but Bodgy has some Galaxias. I want to get some, but um, they're just I have to drive pretty far away from where I am to get them.
Were those the blue
There,
tin fish?
there you go. That's a Saratoga right there.
Okay.
Yeah, kind not overly colourful. They have a nice red sheen on the end of their fins though, and they get pretty big as well, pretty aggressive, just like any arowana. So yeah, what were the blue fish at the back here of this video? They're turquoise rainbows, Melanitania lacustris. Basically a cool looking brown arowana. Yeah, yeah, they're not that colourful, but they kind of surprise you once they develop those red scales. And why haven't any of the Aussies posted any good production quality in focus videos of Pseudomegal mellis? Ah, well, I have Pseudomegal mellis, so I can do that, I guess. I just haven't got around to it yet. This year you'll find that not a lot of people have them, just because our summer was really, really cold. Everyone I've talked to who has blue eyes, mainly it's very, very hard to breed them indoors. So, and they only breed for a short period of every year. So you have to time it pretty perfectly. And this year, just with the weather, there wasn't very high production of any of the pseudomogils. So, yeah. And the other thing is they only live about 2 years as well. So you kind of have to get it pretty perfect. So I'm going to try them out again next year, but we'll see how we go. Very rare to find
Are they
acrylic
like a
tanks here.
killifish?
Yeah. They're related to rainbow fish, but they're pseudomogel, so they're small. You probably heard of them like blue eyes, luminatus, or spotted blue eyes, or any of those.
Gotcha.
Yeah, yeah. So they're from
Gotcha.
Australia and New Guinea.
So what are, and that's something I thought about for anybody in the chat. I see this question here about bottom dwellers. I want a dwarf snakehead, but U.S. and New York laws, blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
I've never heard. I know for the full size uh frankenfish, the ones that we have here that are illegal, the invasive ones. But they have the smaller ones. But I've never heard of them being illegal here. But I don't see them, so I'm
Mm,
assuming all forms of snakehead are illegal here. Does anybody know?
probably. They're not actually like in the Channa family, but we have snakehead gudgeons, which kind of look like a snakehead, but they're actually a gudgeon, and they're native. and they get pretty big as well, pretty beefy. So I saw some of those in a store the other day. I'll probably pick up one day. But maybe if you really got your heart set on snakeheads, you could try a snakehead gudgeon if they're illegal there.
That's kind of like the Chinoides wild betas that I have. They
Yeah.
the China in Chinoides is because they have a head similar to a snakehead.
There you go. There you go. I wondered that about Oscars and clownfish as well, because Oscars have ocellaris, I think, and clownfish are ocellaris as well, and they have a similar body shape, but I never got around to looking that up. Obviously, a bit of a size discrepancy, but they both have that sort of like rounded face and big mouth.
Right. And the bulk of the body is roughly the same.
Yeah.
I mean, lionfish, you got the fins that distract you from it, but the actual the beefy aspect of the body is roughly the same also.
Mm-hmm. So you're
Never
getting
thought
into
about
wild betters now, are you?
Yeah, I had splendens. One situation, they're everywhere. I'm kind of I don't even know how to, naturalist wouldn't be the word for it, but native fish type of guy. I don't
Yeah.
do the streamers and and sparklies that people add on to fish.
Yeah.
For the most part. So I kind of like original aspect, type of fish. Miss Austin, how you doing? Welcome in, welcome in. That's my co-worker down there, y'all. But yeah,
There
I'm
you
more
go.
of all the wild types of original versions of fish. I mean, to
Yeah.
the point to where I was blessed to be called a nerd, by Rachel O'Leary, Not many people get that, get that, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah. Yeah.
I was blessed, you know. But yeah, I don't know, man. That to me, they're just beautiful, man. They're very, 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 very good looking, robust fish.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Budgie
Thank you,
says
ma'am.
ocellaris
Thank you
might
very
mean
much.
eye spot. So that probably makes sense, though. Yeah, cool.
Okay.
I was gonna say, if you are into wild betters, definitely check out Betta Imbellis. I've got a bunch of them, and I love them. And they've got some really nice color to them, especially the males. And they're really peaceful, so you can just keep them as a group. So I have like 25 or 30 of them in a tank down there, no problems at all.
Okay.
They spawn like domestic betters where they blow a bubble nest.
Oh, with
And
the bubble nest.
yeah. So it's fun. And then
My
if I ever do
next was
notice
gonna be Antuta.
oh yeah. I was thinking of getting one of those huge versions, like the better pie. You ever seen those? They're huge.
Yeah.
But if I ever
Yeah.
notice in that colony that there's a bubble nest with eggs in it, then I just get like a little cup, and I just scoop underneath, and then I just put the bubble nest somewhere else and hatch it out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, I've never. You just made that sound so simple. I've never heard any. All of the people when I first got into Splendens and whatnot, all of the people were, giving tips, and best ways to do this, best ways to do that. Nobody has ever just said, "Hey, I see the eggs in the nest. Let me just take it and put it over here." I mean,
Sometimes it just stares you in the face,
I mean, oh man, never. That's crazy. Hey, you guys, you've heard it here first. Well, maybe not first. I'm gonna claim and say he said it on my stream first. Man, you're gonna make me try something.
Yeah, why not? I mean,
You gonna make
mainly
me
if you
try
can
something.
leave him, you might as well. But for that situation, the other fish will probably eat them, so or get in the way. So yeah. How
Well, I
about
mean, it would be
native
so much
salamander?
simpler.
Lepidogalaxius salamandroids. No, I've never heard of those. They're probably, to be honest, they're probably protected. A lot of the natives, they're endangered or at risk, so a lot of them are protected anyway. To be honest,
Oh, those
lungfish
are
are
Australian
available, but they have to be microchipped and they cost an arm and a leg.
salamanders.
Podgy has one.
Yeah, I know. I know. He was telling that was one of his holy grail fish. Yeah,
That's so
we
cool.
have lungfish here. I I just I don't know. That's too native and prehistoric for me.
I like them. I like 'em. But you've got African lungfish, don't you? Yeah, I like them.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
like Dean's one especially. It's cool. And I like watching have the food in and out. Microchipped fish.
Who said
Well,
lungfish?
the microchip fish, yeah, it's just like your dog gets microchipped and has a little, scanner. You got to have the license with the number associated with that in case fisheries ever do come around. I think in Canada they have microchips on their Asian arowana as well.
But what would I mean, what difference would it make? I mean, you know what I'm saying?
What difference? It just means that nobody can go out and catch one in the wild, take it home, and pretend they bought it from somebody else, I guess.
Okay, okay. Wow, man, but that's a lot of work. I mean,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, we've been collaring animals over here for a long time, but man, that's a lot of work. Nine hundred
Mm.
$99,
Yeah,
man.
it's a lot of dollars. But what would you prefer? One lungfish or like 1,000 neon tetras? One lungfish. I hear ya.
if I if I had a big enough tank, I'd take those 1,000 neon tetra
See, I
to
was
see
having
them
this
swarm.
discussion the other day. Yeah, yeah. Because I really want to. I really love ornate bashes, right? I'm a bit basher on the brain at the moment. Usually I'm not, but it's just because I got these new ones here. And at the store there was ornates and Senegals, but I was like, I really want like three, but ornates are like 500. I'm like, that's a lot of money. I could just get three Senegals for the same price as one ornate. So yeah, I don't know. It's always a bit of a battle. You got to toss up whatever your decision making process is and all that. But yeah, if it wasn't towards fish keeping, it'd be on something else anyway, and might as well have fun with it.
They turn into the
Microchip.
pound. They turn fish into the pound.
That's really good. Make them cardinals
Oh
and you
my
have a deal.
goodness.
I like this discussion around cardinals and neon tetras. Everyone always goes cardinals, but you know that cardinals only live for 2 years, where neons live up to 5 sometimes. So, would you rather a cardinal for 2 years or a neon for 5 years? These are the questions we ask ourselves in this hobby.
A neon for 5 years.
I think a neon for 5 years too, especially when you're having 1,000
Yeah,
of
I
them.
take the neon for 5 years.
Like that
And the
lungfish,
swarm
Bodgy
is
will
just
have
so beautiful.
that lungfish might outlive Bodgy, but your neon tetras that you spent the same
You got
amount
to
of money on,
put him in.
they'll be gone.
Well, hey, now, if you really love them, yes, that's a beautiful situation to have. Hey, I'm gonna have to put this fish in my wheel. I got to find somebody to take care of it after I leave, but you'll have it your whole life. But, like me,
All right,
I'd have to
natural
find something
aquariums.
else that lives that long.
I've got some unfortunate news to break to you, natural aquariums. If you've had a cardinal live for 11 years, you have a loved one who keeps replacing that cardinal every couple of years for you. Nah, I'm just joking. That's a great achievement, but yeah, generally they live about half as long as neon tetras. So you could have had a 22-year-old neon tetra instead.
And I mean, it's the other way around when you're like buying them from the store. Your neons will die, you know. I mean, it's just so hard to find hardy neons. You know what I'm saying? The Cardinals, you
Yeah,
do
yeah,
better here anyway. The Cardinals, you do better buying them because neons, man, are just like they're fragile. You know, it's just pulling the trigger on them like that. But I mean, if
yeah,
you
yeah,
get them in a good stock, I mean, then you know you got them. They're around. But oh man,
yeah. And let's be honest, the correct decision is rummy nose anyway. So throw that whole debate in the bin. Yeah, actually, my favorite tetra is Keri tetras at the moment. I love those guys. You ever kept them?
no, mine is Congo.
Congos are good. I like Congos. Yeah, the old, oh, my goldfish looks slightly different this week. And it's a totally different color and shape.
Totally different color for real.
Neon tetras in the
Hey,
tank
they'll
with terracotta
change
pots.
color now.
Oh, yes, that's a great segue. Thanks, GRB. GRB echoes my thoughts here. Look at this. Let me move this up a bit higher. A lot of my tanks these days incorporate terracotta pots. You gotta love them. Why do you love them? Because at the hardware store, they're what, like $1? It's cheap as. You use half as much or even a third as much substrate, which we know it's spendy. So you're saving money there. Also, if I decide tomorrow, I don't really like this tank, I can pick up all of the terracotta pots, move them into other tanks. The crypts won't melt back. It's just happy days. So also, if I set up a new tank tomorrow, pick up a terracotta pot, it's got beneficial bacteria in there. It's basically like a seeded sponge filter, ready to go. What's not to love? And that's my little advertisement for terracotta pots. Use them, people. As long as there's no glazing or paint on them, I just put them in. A lot of times I don't even take the stickers off with the barcodes, but I probably should do that.
Well, what substrate do you use in them?
At the moment, I'm using Master Soil. It's like I don't know who makes it. I usually have props around here somewhere. But I've tried a lot of those sort of aqua soils. Like 88 Amazonia Light is usually one I use a fair bit. Or I just use gravel and root tabs if I want to. I did a bit of experiment a while ago with terracotta pots and root tabs and just gravel, and it works fine. But you have to make sure you get terracotta pots with drainage holes in the bottom so the roots don't get waterlogged. Correct, yeah. Yeah, and to make sure that the soil doesn't just fly out, I just put a piece of filter floss at the bottom, and that's it. So yeah. Hey guys, would it be okay if you use distilled water or spring water for top up? I mean, it's an expensive way to go about it. I don't really know why, but you can. Distilled water is just boiled water, isn't it? Big shank hank. Ever been to Florida? Everything is invasive there. I want to go to Florida, just to catch some peacock bass or something. Like, I don't know. I just feel like that
Man,
would be surreal.
every time I talk to people on here from Florida, I'm like, man, I would never have to go to an LFS ever.
Yeah, yeah. It seems like something that's like in a video game or something like that. Like, it shouldn't be real. You just got like a fishing kind of arcade game. You just go, Oh yeah, what do we got? Clown knife. Oh cool.
How many points is that?
Yeah. Oh, red tail catfish. Nice. Red tail
Let me
catfish is
level up.
like thousands of dollars as well. All those like
Oh man.
reaction type YouTubers who get red tail catfish every second day. Well, they would go broke in Australia because they're crazy expensive down here. If you can
Ooh,
even find them.
man, that's so hard to. I mean, man, we have prices at the big box store, at the Petco and oh man,
Yeah. We
oh
don't
my
have anything like
goodness.
that. At our big box stores, can probably just quickly, we probably have like comet goldfish, you know, maybe some arandas, something like that, some ranchus. And then you have like your blue crayfish. You got some platies and guppies, just mixed ones. You might have a black ghost knife fish. You might have some angelfish, maybe. There's not going to be anything really special there. You typically don't have like shrimp or discus or GF Vegas or anything like that. There'll probably be a tank with Mbuna, probably be a tank with peacocks, and that's about it. I very, very rarely go to big box stores at all anymore. Actually,
Yeah,
the
they'll
other day
lure you in here.
I went to a big box store the other day just for something to do, and there was two fish in the whole store. There was two gold gouramis, not honey gouramis, gold gouramis, the worst of the gouramis, except for giant gouramis.
The diagrams are the worst.
Yeah, I don't like giant gouramis. Sorry if you love your giant gourami. Master
No.
Soil is by
I'm
nature
a
aquariums. Oh, there you go.
I'm an anabantoid guy, but yeah, I don't like gouramis. Period. No sparkling gouramis. That's the only gourami I like.
Licorice gouramis? You got to get some licorice gouramis if you like sparkling gouramis.
No, you're right. You're right. You're right. You're right.
I love
All of
those
that,
things.
all of that little family. The dark colored with the little red and silverish going through. Yeah, I agree with you. I do. All of
And
that little family group though.
a licorice gourami, they'll kill like 50 shrimp in a night. They don't muck around, those guys. They won't even eat them. They'll just kill them for the fun of it. I did not, Podgy. Giant gourami is the ugliest fish out there. Oh yeah, for sure. Crayfish are illegal in Washington, but I saw Pet Slow or Pet Fart selling them. It's solid. My red tail cat, $20. Wow, that'd be about $1,200 here. I decline our
Griffin. Oh, sparkling gourami is also croaked, GRB.
Podgy
Catch
likes
you by
deep fried
surprise if you're not
crabs.
ready for it.
Master Soil is my nature aquariums. There you go. Oh, for hard water.
Ooh.
Very good.
Hey man, we had hour and 18 minutes. It's time for us to go. Because I need to go to sleep. I've been moving for 2 days. Eyes getting heavy. But Blake, man, thank you very much for coming on. Thank you for accepting first and foremost. And
Not
thank
at
you for
all.
coming
Not at all.
on, man. This has been very, 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 very insightful, entertaining. I mean, dude, it's been good though. It really has.
Yeah.
Dude,
No,
hey,
thanks
hey,
for.
when we were speaking earlier about it's up to us to keep it interested. We topped out at 38 earlier, and we stayed in the 30s, dude. So I think we did keep it interested, I guess, huh?
Perfect. Definitely thanks for having me
Oh,
on, and
most
thanks for
definitely.
everyone in the chat. Really appreciate it. And of course, I was going to accept. I love this community, and that's what it's all about. Is we can't all just sit in our garage by ourselves all day. We have to share what we're learning. We have to share what we're having issues with and figure it out together. So I really appreciate everyone and everything that we all do for the hobby.
Most definitely, most definitely. We appreciate you for that, man. We appreciate you for that. Because we got a lot of people they'll try to keep the hobby to themselves. But it's for
Where's the fun
everybody.
in that? For sure. Perfect.
Exactly, exactly. Well, all right, y'all. We're finna get out of here. Thank you guys for coming through, spending this little time with us. Come back and see me. Hey, tomorrow, 1:30 p.m. Central, I have Susan Q of Q Aquatics. She's gonna be on the Aqua Shop, open for business. Come through and check her out tomorrow. Thank y'all for coming through tonight. Love somebody and take care of those fish. We're out.